So option, it is also one of the derivatives. Option is a derivative. We have already finished futures. The only difference between option and other derivatives is option gives you a right. So I'm speaking from option buyer's perspective. Option gives you a right but not an obligation. So what happens here? When you have an obligation, you have to fulfill that task, because the you have made an you are in agreement with someone, or you have like you and other party has signed a contract as per which if you don't fulfill what promise you have made like as per the contract, then what would happen? It would be a breach of contract. Okay, so obligation binds both the parties, isn't it so? So it becomes a binding contract, but option is a different kind of, it's a different scenario. It's not binding both the parties, it is giving a right to one of the parties to exercise the option what he is taking. He will exercise the option only if it is beneficial for him. So I always take an example of a school and always try to explain option the concept of options to students to make it easier. So I'll take 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes of time. So let's say there is like this individual who wants to enroll his kid. Okay, this is a, it's a father. He wants to enroll his son in a particular school. So he has three options available. One, like the school which is 500 meters away from his house. One which is 5 kilometers away, 10 kilometers away from his house. One which is like, let's say, 3 kilometers away from his house. It's an international school with lot of facilities and a big ground of, like, let's say it's a 10-acre school. This, the school in 3 kilometers is like 2 acres school, and this is just one like half to 1 acre school. And here only the importance is like you cannot expect lot much in sports and other facilities. It's a school with like low budget school. It's a very high budget school. 5 lakhs per annum is the fees. Here 1.5 lakhs per annum is the fees. Here 30,000 is the fees. So now this father has like is considering all the options. Okay, so what he is seeing is what about, he's thinking that he's like considering all the scenarios and alternatives to admit his son into any of the schools. So he knows that if the son goes in international school, it will cost him 5 lakhs, and the son will get a lot of facilities. No parent wants to compromise with their son's education or sons or daughters education, but budget also matters. And 3 kilometers, the school which he is thinking of is like in nearby, very nearby proximity and somewhat affordable category, and this is like very low category whereby he is not expecting that much from the school. But what he says is, since he has to admit his son in school after 1 year, he doesn't want to like lose any of the chances. Like he wants to keep all his chances of taking admission in all these schools, like what we say, active. Okay, he doesn't want to lose those chances. So he goes to each and every school and he buys the admission form of the school. Here it is of 200 rupees. Here it is of 500 rupees. Here it is of 1000 rupees. By buying all these three forms, he is not taking an admission in all these schools. He is taking an option to take admission in this school. That means with admission form, whatever he is taking, he is just filling the form with all the details and paying the minimal amount of whatever the amount what the school management is charging to all the parents. Okay, to reserve their seats in the school. Then everything, the final payment would depend upon the interview what the child gives, and based upon that assessment the schools will be considering. Or like any other thing, like it's not like what would happen is the forms what parents fill matters to the school. they won't entertain a last moment rush, and they won't give admissions to people who come on last moment. And like, it depends upon the availability of seat also. These schools are always jam packed. Okay, so the point here is, the father is not taking admission directly. He has not offered any of the like 4 lakhs or 3 lakh. He has not bargained with this school that let's say the father is with like is having a discussion with the school management that he would take admission surely in the school, and he asks them for a discount, since he wants to make advance payment immediately, right away, right now. And the school agrees, and if the school agrees and he makes a 4 lakh rupees payment, and that he has agreed to take the admission, now he cannot deny from that. And after 1 year, if he has like, he thinks that it is very tough for him to pay the next year fees, he cannot back off. He has to continue, or else like he cannot ask for the refund also, nothing. Okay, so he's like that can be a good example of futures, where you are under obligation to take admission, because the contract between you and the school binds both the parties. School also cannot deny a seat to you. If school denies a seat to you, you can ask for compensation, because in the last moment other schools would not take his son either. Okay, but what the case here is, here what we are discussing is, he has taken the option to take admission in the schools by just filling up the forms. Now what happens, finally he decides this school, and he is finally ready with this school, and his son has also passed interviews in all the schools. Son has been given chances in all the schools, but he finally considers this. Now the minimum loss to father is only the 200 rupees what he paid for the form, and the 1000 rupees what he paid for the form, not the school, not the part fees what they were asking him, or he did not pay part fees in any of the schools. Okay, so what has happened is, he has picked up the school which is the most feasible and convenient for him. And that is what option is all about. Option gives you flexibility, it doesn't bind you, it gives you a right to exercise the option, but not the obligation. So in case it was not option, it would have been forward contract, that the school, he has bargained from the school and he has given a advance payment, and that would have bound him and school to like fulfill the terms and conditions of the contract. But here option is has given him that, he has given him the flexibility to let these two particular schools admission, whatever he wanted to take to lapse. Okay, he doesn't want to take admission in those two schools. So that is what is all about option. Okay, it's not an obligation, but it's a right. Now we will discuss about stock options. So here I'll come with the options and give you some example. This is a option writer, which in real world you can think as a school. Okay, what example I gave you is nothing but the school, which is the option writer, which is giving you the form to fill up, and father can be the option buyer. So option writer gives an option to the option buyer, and he is ready to sell the option to the option buyer. Okay, option writers can be individual or brokers or anyone, or investors or traders. So what happens is, there are two types of options now. These are the two parties in this contract, and on the options what exists is call option, put option. These one are like the options which are like taken by the option buyers from the option writers. And there are two other types of options based upon maturity: American option, European options. American options are the option whereby like you can exercise the option before the maturity date. Okay, can be exercised before maturity. Like you can take the admission, can be taken before also. Okay, the father need not wait till the last day of the admission, he can take the admission before also. Option can be exercised before maturity. Here option can be exercised only on maturity date. That's the difference between these two. And call option and put option we'll discuss right now. Call option is option to buy. Call option is an option to buy, and put option is an option to sell. So what happens is, this is generally picked up by speculators who have bullish sentiments, who want to buy something at a prefixed price in the future and want to gain from the price rise, okay, in the future. Fine. So I'll give an example, don't worry. And this is like most probably preferred by the hedgers who want to minimize their risk. Okay. So what happens, let's say SBI stock, call is available for 100 rupees. Okay, at the rate of 5 rupees is the premium. Okay, so SBI call is like 100 rupees, like the call is of 100 rupees, and the premium what the option buyer has to pay to option writer is 5 rupees, isn't it so? Now what the meaning of this statement is, with the SBI stock option available for 100 rupees at a premium of 5 rupees per stock, gives an option. That means the option buyer is taking an option from the option writer or option seller to buy SBI stock at 100 rupees after 3 months. The maturity is 3 months here. That means if A is the option buyer, B is the option seller, what A is doing is, A is buying an option from B, and he has agreed to pay 5 rupees for like per stock. Okay, and like the option is like, A wants to buy stock from B after 3 months at the rate of 100 rupees. That is the meaning of this. So A has fixed the price of SBI stock for 100. So A will buy SBI stock at the rate of 100 rupees after 3 months, and this particular option is taking from B. So I said you, if the admission we want to take in school, we have to buy the admission form. In the same way, A will pay a premium of 5 rupees per stock to B. Okay, nothing comes for free in this world. Now, let's say after 3 months, now I'll just put it here. We will find out the value of call option after 3 months. SBI stock has gone to 150. SBI stock is now trading at 150. So now, since the call option is with Mr. A, he can buy the stock. He has taken the option from B. Now he can buy the stock, okay, at 100 rupees from B. Okay, because he has made the contract with B now. So he will buy the stock at 100 rupees from B, and he will sell that stock in the open market for 150 rupees, because it is the contract to buy, and to book profits he has to take an offsetting position, that is, he has to sell. So he will buy at 100 and he will sell at 150, and he'll make a profit of 50 rupees. That is nothing but the value of call option, VC. So I will just put some terminologies here. This is K, the strike price. This is ST, the stock price. So ST, so for call option, for call buyer, so for call buyer, the profit is nothing but the maximum of 0 comma stock minus strike. What do you mean by this? See, I'll explain you that one also. See, now the option what A has is to buy the stock at 100 rupees, and I said you, options are exercised only when there is a benefit in that particular trade. So there's a clear benefit or clear profit to A in this trade. Why? Because he can buy the stock at 100 and the stock is trading in market at 150. So he can buy at 100 and he can sell at 150 and make a profit of 50 rupees. That means he can make a gain of 50. Isn't it so? He will definitely exercise. Let's say if the stock has gone to 80 rupees, do you think he will exercise? No, he will let it lapse. He will let it lapse. He will not exercise the option because option has given him the right, not the obligation. Okay. He will let it lapse, and in that case, we will compare the profits with zero, and we will take the maximum of this. Maximum of this can only be the value of the call option. Why? Because option cannot have negative values. There is no loss any time. No person in the world who has taken an option would exercise the option when it is out of the money. So I'll explain you three terminologies here. There are three things: in the money option, at the money option, out of the money option. So what is in the money option? When stock price is more than the strike price, that means 100 is what we have fixed and 150 is what is in the market. Definitely it is in the money. Why? Because 50 is the value of the call option. You are making a profit here. Now when the stock price is equal to strike price, it is at the money, and at the money option is also not good for us. Why? Because when I see the net profit, see, value of the call option means option payoff. Option payoff. Option payoff is nothing but the value of the call option I am looking forward to. So value of the call option is stock price minus strike price, that is 150 minus 100, and we got 50. But this is not the one, this is not the final profit for Mr. A, because he has to make a premium payment also to option writer, so which he has already paid to take this option. So the net profit for A is, for exercising this option would be, net profit is equal to 50 minus 5, the value of the call option minus premium. So 45 is the net profit. Understood? So this at least he should get for exercising this option. In this case he is getting when the stock price is more than the strike price. But when the stock is equal to strike, 0. There is no profit, no loss, but he is still making a premium payment of 5. So there's a loss. He will never exercise this option. He will let it lapse. And when the stock price is less than strike price, that is here 100 is equal to 100, no profit, no loss. Okay. But still he is making the premium payment, he is in loss. When the stock price, which is 80, is less than 100, he will never exercise this option. Why? Because option is worthless for him. Option is worthless. Why it's worthless? Because it is out of the money. Okay, it is out of the money. Now why it is out of the money? He will be getting a loss of 20, and of course there is no loss at all. Any option buyer would not exercise the option when he is in losses, and he will let the option lapse. And why? Because it's a worthless option, isn't it so? So in my case, I have explained you everything regarding this. So the maximum of 0 and stock minus strike. So 0 comma 50 is the value. Here the maximum is 50. That's the value of call option, and 50 minus 5 is the net profit, which is 45. Okay. This was about the options. Now call option. Now let us discuss about the put option. So what is put option? Put option is option to sell. That means the option buyer will take an option from option seller or writer, and that option will be the option to sell. That means put option is nothing but option buyer has made a agreement with option seller, okay, to sell him something. Option buyer has made a agreement with option seller that he will sell something to him at some fixed price. Okay, he will sell him something,